I get it. Because I took back what I was going to initially say. I'm like, man, F that kid, man. F that kid. All of them, no. I'm telling everybody. Matter of fact, all of us going together. Your cousin, me, her daddy, your daddy, everybody. Let's sit down and hash this out now. But I ripped the Band-Aid right off, though. I don't need to.
Yeah, I don't.
Get it all right now, and I'll deal with it after.
I think I love the scenario and I love the question because parenting is an often difficult job, right? and one of those things I think is difficult because
So I work. Thank God.
I go to work.
Thank goodness. Got a job still. At this job, I have a lovely neighbor, and she is just so happens to be Caucasian. And she has a scenario that she brought to my attention the other day. Okay. Mm-hmm. I told you a little bit about it, so I'm gonna tell the people.
Yeah, keep it fresh for those.
So she has a 16-year-old daughter, and this 16-year-old daughter, yeah, we can go ahead and take it. 16-year-old daughter came to her and essentially told her something in confidence that was told to her by her cousin, the cousin whose father is the brother of her dad, not the mother, not my friend. Try to keep up. So the cousin told the daughter this information in confidence, and the daughter says, well, I need to figure this out, and my confidant is my mother, so she came to the mom and said what she had to say and told her, don't tell dad. Don't tell anybody. Even though she told me. But anyway. But she came to me and she was just like, this is what happened. And I'm like, is it serious enough that they really need to know? Like, is it something that's harmful? Like, it can really mess with the kid's psyche kind of thing? And she was like, yeah, kind of. Especially with the record that was that the I think it was going to be the uncle, the cousin's dad has, and the relationship with the cousin's dad and the daughter's dad. So I'm in my mind like immediately like objecting, and my objection was her objection to telling anyone about it because she's saying that she's working on the trust between her and her daughter. I said, okay. I took a step back. Me being the daddy that I am, I was already swelling up with my answer and response. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. Forget what the kid says and knows what's right is always gonna take precedent. And I slipped back. So my question is, how open are we as parents to different child rearing tactics? Are you more rigid? Do you feel that you're more rigid? Or you feel that you're going to be more rigid once they get to different levels? Your child gets to different levels? Or are you probably like, you know what, I could try that at least once to see if it works or not, especially because each child is different.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, the question is there ever a point, well, I'm gonna rephrase it so I better process it, if that makes sense. So is there ever a point in which me as a parent, do I put my daughter's, I don't even know how to rephrase it, because to me, I would always want my daughter, like I'd always want my close friends, my family members to trust that I'll never leave them astray. So that phrase in itself doesn't matter about what she may perceive as right or wrong, because you will trust my wisdom that I'll never leave you astray. Okay. So in this situation, my daughter tells me something that's troublesome enough for her to come tell me to trust my wisdom. I'm gonna give her the game. Okay. I'm gonna give her the truth in hopes that she understands I'll never leave her astray, even if she don't like the outcome. She should always be able to trust that I'll never leave her astray. So I'm gonna like say from there, say her cousin is planning on robbing a bank.
Okay.
Right. So if she tells me her cousin's planning on doing this, off rip, I'm gonna say, is her cousin aware of the consequences if she get caught? What's gonna happen? She's gonna try to do it again, so on and so forth. How are you gonna be associated with that? Right? And are you okay with that? You'll trust that I'll never try to leave you astray. One thing I'm big on is responsibility. And responsibility to me is being aware of the pros and the cons. That's it.
At all times.
That's it.
At all times.
You can be a responsible bank robber. You can be a responsible employee. You can be a responsible so on and so forth. As long as you are aware of the pros and cons. Always.
Right.
That's all I care for.
Heard it.
Now, let's change that. My daughter's 14. Why your cousin talking about robbing the bank when he's 14?
Right.
Who he around?
What y'all need the money for?
Yeah. What's really going on? Am I missing something?
Y'all paying a ransom?
Right? Listen, cheese days you can. 22.
Yeah.
You ready to go to jail? The questions change based off of the parameters and the context. However, the whole point is you'll always be able to trust that I'll never leave you straight. I'm not interested in being friends with my baby.
Well said.
I'm not interested in being friends. You can have a multitude of friends. And I think this quote comes from American Dad. The scene where Steve and Stan, the father and the child. I don't know if you watch American Dad.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Stan is the pops.
Yeah.
Steve is the son. And what happens is Stan has to take Steve on this trip. Even though he's supposed to be punishing Steve. Steve's acting a fool in school.
Okay.
So he starts off punishing Steve. He takes him on this trip with his CIA buddies. He says, all right, Steve,
What the hell are you doing outside the bathroom?
Jackson came into doo-doo and let me out after he was done.
I'm better in front of somebody.
Steve just told the most hilarious, filthy joke. You have to hear it.
I'm not gonna share a dirty joke with my son. It's inappropriate.
Stan, it's just a joke. Lighten up.
Fine, one joke, then back in the bathroom.
Okay, here goes. So, a man with a tickle in his throat, and the donkey looks him straight in the eye, and without missing a beat says, "Purple hat."
Okay. What's wrong, Stan? You didn't like it?
Actually, I thought it was very well crafted. The perfect combination of dirty and smart. It was really quite elegant.
Well, why aren't you laughing?
Because I don't share laughs with my son.
Stan is trying to resist not laughing at it because he's trying to maintain, I'm a father figure, I'm firm.
There's nothing wrong with laughing, Dad.
I said I don't need to laugh.
Purple hat, Dad.
Steve, stop it.
I'm not doing anything. It was the donkey. He said, "Purple hat."
Don't you mess with me.
It's okay. It's okay. Purple hat. Purple hat. That's what was said by the donkey.
Oh, for God's sake, get this boy a t-shirt.
Yeah!
Put that shirt on that boy.
Little man up.
Long story short, Steve says, I'm gonna skip school today, and because you my friend Pops, you coming with me. He goes with him. They go to the zoo. Steve jump his big head butt in the thing with this gorilla. This gorilla snatch him.
What do I do?
It's a simple waltz, Steve. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bobo, I need you to let these people go.
Bobo's handler. We're saved.
Not exactly. He just said he wants the boy to stay with him tonight.
I don't want to die from gorilla sex.
Looks like there might be a threesome, Steve.
That's Rex, Bobo's father. I'm his handler. He said, "What do you think you're doing, son? You woke me up!
I'm just playing, Dad.
Look at all the commotion you've caused. You think you'll get into a good captive breeding program acting like
Yeah,
this?
you trying to get that butt. That's our goal. We trying to make, we trying to procreate, we trying to keep this legacy going.
This lineage, buddy.
Yeah. And he says, this father's, he
Call
says,
that man a father? No respectable parent would let their child in here.
Hey, for your information, Rex, my son and I work better as friends.
I'm sure you do. Friends don't have to worry about discipline or setting an example. It's easy to be a friend. That's why kids have lots of them. But a father, our kids only get one of those. Who are we to take that away from them? Now, come along, Bobo. You're grounded for 3 moons.
I love you too, Dad.
so to me, I'm not interested in being my child's friend. Should she be trying to do things and tell things? wonderful. Yes, we should always have a relationship where she can tell me anything because she will trust that I'll never leave her astray.
Right.
And her friends don't necessarily have to adhere to that. I don't even think most friends will. That's why. That's as you get older, your friend numbers get shrink. Right. So I'm not interested in being their friend. If my daughter tells me something that she's troubled about, I would always
give it a game.
Let her know that I'll never leave her astray. I'll never try to put her in a situation where she'd be at a disadvantage or do harm to her. Because again, I think about the bigger picture. I'd always want my daughter to do better than me. I think any responsible parent wants their child to do better than them, so on and so forth. I hope that makes sense.
Perfect sense. I like your response, and you could revamp any question I give you, brother. I don't give a if you respond like that, boy. You do what you got to do.
All right,
now, well, I had to respond to her in kind. When I told you I took a breath and I took a step back. Matter of fact, when I've said that on the podcast before that I do that, I really did it. So I took a step back and I had to account for her goal as a mother. Her goal is to reinstill the trust in the relationship between her and her daughter. So I said, okay.
Reinstill as if they was broken at some point?
Not as tight as she wants them to be.
Okay. She's 16 though.
Yeah. And it's like a distant dad thing, and the single mother, and the new boyfriend now is gone, and this and that. It's all kind of stuff.
Okay.
So the fact was, I said, all right, if your goal is the relationship between you and your daughter, then you need to take her aside and speak to her in private and be able to express to her, first and foremost, I love you. More than I love them. Okay? I want you to be successful in this moment, all right? I don't believe that this information being held in is healthy for our family. I believe that I should be able to, I want to take this information and go to whomever, not tell them where I got the information from, but express, hey, what's going on with this? Mainly because it is our family. Now, I'm talking to you first out of respect for you and out of the love I have for you, to be able to say, let's talk about it first, and me give you my reasons, and willing to listen to your reasons as to why you don't want me to, but I still need to express to you that this is gonna be what it is, respectfully, because you're trying to allow her to be she wants to be an adult,
at
basically.
16.
So the mother's trying to raise an adult is her understanding. So I say, okay, cool. So then talk to her like an adult. Be straight up. Be explicitly honest. Don't exaggerate, but overindulge the honesty. Like, give the whole story. Paint the full picture.
You can't be responsible if you're not telling them the truth. Yeah, I
want her to make an educated decision.
Yes, sir.
So set her up for success. And is what I told her. I said, I get it. Because I took back what I was going to initially say. I'm like, man, F that kid, man. F that kid. All of them. No, I'm telling everybody. Matter of fact, all of us going together. Your cousin, me, her daddy, your daddy, everybody. Let's sit down and hash this out now. But I ripped the Band-Aid right off though. I don't need to.
I don't.
Get it all right now, and I'll deal with it after.
I think I love the scenario and I love the question, because parenting is an often difficult job, right? and one of those things I think is difficult because you always be challenged as a thinker. Because I feel like
I think society makes it more difficult than it really is, bro.
Whatever the case may be.
Carry on.
Because I'm gonna tell you, like, I have a baby, and that baby is 1.
Yeah.
And that baby is so perceptive, it makes me smile. But it makes her mother want, like, Get your daughter, so on and so forth. My day, I'm no smoke. My wife's day, full of clouds, volcanoes, ashes, and I'm telling you, it's different. I grew up raising children, so you could argue that I just got better to what my patience was like and the cussing it, but I don't know. My wife was like, "You gonna read these child books? We gonna learn together." We read them, but they ain't telling nothing about for that thing that's known as num-nums, because that's a different beast.
I love it.
So
I love it.
And I don't imagine that it's gonna get easier. I just imagine you gotta prepare because it's gonna change, right? It will be different. It's gonna change. That 16 gonna hit, and she may think she figured out the world. That 22 gonna hit, and she may think she figured out the world. That 32 may hit, and she still may believe she figured out the world.
Bro, I have been for the last 2 years talking to my daughter and only saying, not going into depth about anything else, but only saying, these people are telling me that you are going to turn 11, 12, and 13 and you're going to switch up on me. You're going to not like me. You're going to disobey what I say. You're going to hide things from me. You're going to lie to me. You're going to steal. You're going to do all of these mischievous things behind my back. First and foremost, I need you.
It's kind of extreme.
I don't care.
Yeah, like I don't mischievous and hide things behind your back.
No, that's literally what.
I can believe it.
How about this?
I can believe
this? I went to the orientation for my daughter. She's going into middle school. They literally said, they asked me, is she on social media? I was like, man, she has like a little TikTok. Why? We recommend no social media because there's been a lot of fights here at school over social media.
Yo. Okay.
And I'm not, I promise, I told her, I was like, look, I will chase whoever tries to take you around the world, much less somebody even touch you wrong in the building that I sent you to be safe in. And because I know middle school, I know high school.
Yes,
I know what goes down.
Yes,
and that was back in my day, much less now where everything got communication with technology now.
Right.
You got me bent backwards because I will definitely shut all that down.
Yes,
I am coming with police. So then the police is not to keep the peace, No justice. I ain't looking for just
destruction.
To keep me.
Yes, sir.
To
Contain
keep me away from these people's children. Because if I touch these people's children, I'm spanking somebody. I ain't gonna beat them. I ain't gonna punch them in the face. I'm gonna spank them. I'm gonna correct them the way they should. Somebody didn't do it. Somebody didn't do it. And I dare a parent to come up and check me. Well, then you do it then. I'm gonna hand them the belt.
Yes, sir. Let's party, boy. That's something I'm not prepared for. And no matter how much I look at my num-nums, I'm just not prepared for it. I tell my daughter,
yes, sir. What? You are not allowed to be a thought. Literal words. Nicki Minaj. No, nothing against these people's music and the style of who they choose to be in public, but not my child.
So good. It's so good.
Cardi B herself was playing her song WAP on live, jamming to it. In a one-piece, skin tight, hair night, all you know how she get down. Her child walks into the back of the shot. She immediately shuts it down.
Why?
Because your child can't listen to it. What
she wants her daughter to be better than her.
Thank you. Let's go. So if it's not good enough for the artist's child to listen to, why would your child listen to it? Now, here's what I'm saying. Any adult, you're an adult. You're an adult and you are responsible for what goes in and comes out. All right? That is where I'm trying to raise her before she becomes an adult. I'm trying to make sure that she hits those levels before I say, all right, God bless you, an adult. You can go and handle your business. You know what I'm saying?
So good, man. I love that.
I'm not
not to cut you off, but I think what you're talking about is important because even in my own house, right? I don't play hip hop around num-nums. I don't play none of that like sexual stuff where it's obvious, explicit. We play Kurt Franklin.
I get it.
I play stuff that obviously I can listen to, but I still wanted to move my daughter in a positive way because, like I said, she's extremely perceptive, and that will grow.
I get it.
I love it, man. I had a friend who dad would play who would play Nas.
Okay.
But he wouldn't play like 50 Cent and stuff like that when we were in the car with him as he going to do basketball, football training and whatnot. And he would be like, I don't know why my dad played it. Like, I don't know, he listened to something else. And as a kid, you don't click. We like 12, 13, it don't click. But he would play Nas, like, and I remember the song Poison. Poison came on every time we got in the car. Hey, yo, it's Poison. Ecstasy, coke, you say is love, it is poison. The schools where I learned, it should be burned, it is poison. He played that every time we got in the car. Even if we heard him playing 50 Cent as he was rating, the second we hit that seat, Jamel in the front, I'm in the back, hey, yo, it's Poison. It played every time. And I know that song because of Mr. Freeman when he would play. But just the fact, you don't process that as a kid, but when you get an adult, you understand what he's trying to do.
But man, it's wiring, bro. We are creatures of habit, man. Because there's so many things that my dad was saying to me when I was young that I did not understand at all. Sounded like the peanuts, wah, 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 wah. And now,
It was good.
I'm talking about clickety-clack, clickety-clack up in my brain. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I go back to him. And I thank God that I'm able to go to
trust
him
that he
and
won't
talk
lead you
to
astray,
him
don't
and
you?
say thank you.
Yes, sir.
I tell him thank you. I'm literally like, we go over everything, and he tells me now that I understand that level. He tells me the next level, which still doesn't sound like wah wah anymore. It sounds just like, okay, all right, it's pieces to a new puzzle now. It's just like, okay, now I can read each puzzle piece, and now I know I need to learn to fit them together. Chess, not checkers. Let's go, man. You must be prepared to get through each level. Like, that's why my son, I'm here, brother. What? My daughter, I'm here. Like, everything they need me to be, I'm gonna be that. And they don't understand what I'm telling them now most of the time. I just know, long as you agree to do what I say. And especially the markers in life that we are, I make a big point. I make it big events, or not an event, but like grandiose. I'll respond grandiose to different little achievements.
Okay.
Because I was like, I told you, didn't I tell you?
I love it.
I told you,
I
didn't
love
I?
it. I love
told,
it.
and then I'm
Be
like,
the pops on the sideline, like, that's my son, let's go. Make sure it no
Straight
matter
up.
who's sitting by, but he hears you.
Straight up.
I love it.
It's
I
got
love
to
it.
be, you got to
love
not
it.
only, you got to, okay, I don't want to use the word, I use this lightly. You don't want to break your child down to the point of like destruction. No.
Right.
You have to
Right.
break to build.
Right.
Mold
Right.
is a better term.
Take what's given and shape it differently. I
Let's
get you.
go.
Break down means to literally put it in quick.
Right,
I got you.
right.
I got you. I'm there.
Because
I'm
that's
there.
destruction. That's
Yes,
destroying.
sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so mold your child to get to, and it's gonna make it makes the point and the principle soak in so much deeper when you praise them for doing what you told them to do. And and it's been amazing to watch the changes because each child is different. Each child, my daughter is like at first she was a glutton for attention.
Glutton, I love it.
Oh my God.
It says so much. Yeah, I love it.
She's now, because my kids are cooler than me. Like, they're cooler than I ever was. Like, hands down, both of them. They're social monsters, dog.
That's
like,
cool.
It's crazy. So the fact is, I have to hone these skills now. Like, you can't overdo it. Like, you're overtaking the boundary that you have at school. Like, you're acting a fool now.
Okay.
Yes, you got an A. I know you got an A, son. I know you can do it. But you're taking away from the attention for those that are making B's and C's and D's and F's. You're not helping them. Well, I was helping. This is why the teacher said I was talking. Did you ask the teacher for permission to help? No. Well, then are you in charge? No, Daddy. Okay, then. So then why are you going against the format or the order in the classroom? And I'm teaching my son these words because it's important. Like, he needs to understand that there's a hierarchy. There's an order to everything. When you get into school, your job is to learn everything they want you to learn and spit it back to them perfectly. As close to perfect as possible. I like 99s. I don't mind. You get what I'm saying? And my son is going to a magnet school now. Like,
Let's go.
so my daughter, she's in middle school now, going to advanced classes. Like,
Let's go.
What's up? Like, let's do this, because they know they can do it. How do they know that they can do it? Because I told them they could do it before they did it. They did it, and now I praise them for doing it.
I love it.
I'm just saying, there's a reason for it all. There's a reason for it all. Now,
the little things that count.
What you got?
I mean, I just build off it because I really like the conversation, especially because praising, right? And I remember for me, I stopped playing basketball because I stopped trying to play organized basketball because of there was no recognition at home, right? So I was like, it wasn't even in the sense of I'm doing it, but if I'm doing it and you still ain't appreciating it, you still ain't showing you care about it, then I'm gonna go back to doing what I want to do to begin with, right? Football came about. It was like, I quit football because I was working 2 jobs, and then I realized that, well, she ain't gonna try to support me. She don't get the cleats or nothing. Or when the time comes, pay for the trips, pay for the food. So if you can't do it, I gotta keep working to pay for it. So that praise, growing up without that praise, that's big. And I definitely, my daughter will never know what that's like, ever. We in your corner. I ain't gonna be there saying praising everything you do, but when you're doing stuff that matters, yes sir.
You're gonna know your child. You're gonna know the line that you want to kind of be the balance point for your child, because you know this. You know the straight and narrows. You got to be able to say, okay, whoa, you're going too far to the left. Whoa, you're going too far to the right, baby. Whoa, you're slowing down too much, baby. You're gonna know that. And you already established the point. You already established your motive behind it. Yeah. You're like, nah, she ain't gonna know that. Yeah. She ain't gonna know what that feels like. What are you talking about? No. It probably sickens you to the stomach to be yo, like, what the
It does. Like I wholeheartedly, bro, I'd have conversations with my mother or what Tobias, and they talk about children, and it makes, I gotta remember, hey bro, contain yourself. Yeah. You gotta contain yourself. You're trying to lead better, especially if my daughter's around. This is
wow. Right. Tight work, right? Tight work. Like, and it's like you have to work on self in every moment. Yeah. I tell my son that. Like, you cannot give up on being the man that you were trying to be. Like, this cannot be. This is a never-ending freaking battle. Yes, sir. Because the urges and the wants of the spirit, like the natural man in me, wanting to break every bone. Like, come on, dog. Like, even I don't like that in me. I don't want to even envision myself doing things like that to people. So that's why I work the way I work. That's why I smile the way I smile. That's why I talk to people the way I talk to them. So I make sure that I can be as far away from that as possible, so that if you take me there, guess what? I'm justified in breaking every bone in your body. Sir. Or at least trying. I can catch the jaw or a knee or a rip off an ear or something. If y'all big and bad, I'm gonna break your knee. Yes, sir. Bite your nipple off. Man. I don't know. Free the nipple.
Such a good topic. I love it so much, man.
But you get. But that's a good one, because it touches the home button. It touches that what are we doing as leaders button. Like, what kind of people are we setting out into the world button? Like, what?
Oh,